You're watching 5 Star Live, presented by Waffle House. East Tennessee's #1 post-game high school football show. Live on location from the biggest game of the week. Live interviews from the winning coaches and players, along with highlights from other games around East Tennessee. Your hosts, Jesse Smithy and Kevin Smith, with decades of experience covering and coaching high school sports, along with the 5 Star Preps team, will update you on games as they become final, and will break down region outlooks and what's to come for your favorite football teams and top players. Now, get ready for the most comprehensive high school football coverage in Tennessee on 5 Star Live. You're watching.
Welcome into high school football. We're at the 5 Star Preps Jamboree presented by the Orthopedic Clinic right here at Carson Newman University in Jefferson City, Tennessee. I am Jesse Smithy, your host for tonight on 5 Star Live. Consider this our scrimmage, our preseason jamboree, as we work out some kinks in our show, but also going to provide some coverage tonight from our inaugural jamboree here at Carson Newman. Really appreciate everybody for allowing us to come here tonight and doing this jamboree. We've had 2 quarters of play so far tonight. Grace Christian won the first quarter 7-0 over Jellicoe, and in the second quarter, Clinton beat Grace Christian 14-0. We've had lineman races, we've had back races, and we're going to have some kids throwing the football, kicking the football, and we're even going to have a lineman catching punts here in just a few minutes, so that should be high comedy as well. So as I mentioned, we're at Carson Newman tonight, and I'm going to welcome in Mike Clowney, the head football coach at Carson Newman. If you want to go ahead and join us on set, Coach. Thanks for being here. Yeah, thank you for letting us have it here first off, and this is something that we've talked about quite a bit over the last couple of years. We'll go ahead and grab you a mic there. And to see it all come to fruition, just how cool is it for you?
Talked about it, and the COVID thing happened, and that's why I actually sit in the stands second, because I'm like, actually, we got this thing rolling now. Right. So it's fun to watch. For your university to have high school kids here on site, I mean, that's got to be a great thing for you guys. I mean, they get to see what all's going on here too. You know, we're really proud of who we are and what we have, and for these guys to be able to come out and, you know, use it and be a part of it, and us share it with them, and them to kind of see a little bit of what we have here at Carson Newman. A lot of times kids may not get this way, you know, unless they have an opportunity like this one. Well, it seems like every time I come up, there's something new and something better around the facilities. It just shows a lot of positive momentum for you guys. You know, for us, I think our guys are always trying to grow, you know, either getting better or worse. We talk to our kids about that. So from a university standpoint, we kind of still take that same philosophy. What are things going like for you guys as you're in fall camp and getting ready for the season? You know, we've practiced today, and today was our first day in full gear. So we're really excited about our football team. We got a lot of guys here that are working hard. You know, a lot of guys have returned. You know, they've done a really good job kind of meshing our new guys into what we do. It's really been fun watching them get prepared to play a season. Back over our shoulder here in just a minute, we're going to see some big linemen trying to catch punts. Do you guys do fun things like that in practice, just kind of lighten the mood? I actually watched a couple of those on YouTube the other day. I was like, that's something we probably need to incorporate. I mean, I saw it, I think, first at a Farragut practice, and I'm like, we have to do that at our jamboree. And so I can't wait. We should hear some laughs here in just a little while. But I did want to bring you on and just thank you guys so much for everything the university's done to allow us to do this jamboree here, and really appreciate working with you guys. Thank you. We're looking forward to continue the relationship here. All right. Thanks, Mike. Thank you. As Mike Clowney, head football coach at Carson Newman, you're coming up to games, doing big things here on campus. Before we take our first break, I want to thank again Carson Newman, Tennessee Orthopedic Clinic, Honey Baked Ham, Ellison Supply, Gold Star efforts here tonight in making this happen, and also the Jefferson City Fire Department for donating their time and services to this wonderful event. We're going to catch our first break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Catholic head coach Corey Mobbs, presented by Waffle House.
watching 5 Star Live. East Tennessee's #1 post-game high school football show. Live on location from the biggest game of the week. Live interviews from the winning coaches and players, along with highlights from other big games from around Tennessee. Your host, Jesse Smithy, with decades of experience covering high school sports, and his 5-star preps team will update you on games as they become final, and will break down region outlooks and what's to come for your favorite football teams and top players. Now, get ready for the most comprehensive high school football coverage in Tennessee on 5 Star Live. You're watching 5 Star Live. East Tennessee's #1 post-game high school football show. Live on location from the biggest game of the week. Live interviews from the winning coaches and players, along with highlights from other big games from around Tennessee. Experience covering high school sports, and his 5-star preps team will update you on games as they become final, and will break down region outlooks and what's to come for your favorite football teams and top players. Now, get ready for the most comprehensive high school football coverage in Tennessee on 5 Star Live.
junior, but he is quickly becoming a household name.
Your quarterback, Jaden Neal, obviously young. We've seen him at times in 7-on-7 and scrimmages. And is he being patient? Because I know it's got to be hard to come into the high school ranks and start immediately.
Yeah, one of the things we've talked about as a staff is just bringing him along, at a patient pace, not giving him too much. But he's a calm, cool, collected kid, and he's been a player his whole life. And it's a perfect scenario for a kid like that because he's got players around him. So we're not going to ask him to, be a superstar as a freshman. I think that's hard to do in the players around him hands, and he's going to have success, and he's got the right mentality. He's a youngster, there's no doubt. We want him to physically get better and all those things, but he's taking it all in stride.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you joining us tonight. I know before the season starts, your time with your family is precious, so I appreciate you hanging on the line with us tonight and giving us a few minutes, and wish you guys the best of luck at your jamboree and into the incoming season.
Hey, thanks, Jesse. Appreciate what you guys for high school football in Tennessee.
Yeah, thank you, Corey. That's Corey Williams, head football coach at Catholic High School. We're going to catch one more break. When we come back, we're going to look at some of the games around the area in Week 1. We're going to take a look at our preseason top 10. You're going to get a sneak peek of that on the show tonight before it even goes up on 5starpreps.com. So stick with us right here.
East Tennessee, the foothills of the Smokies, beautiful lakes, Friday night heroes, and one red light small towns with more life than any big city, where orange and white is displayed. Yeah, the one and only home of the Tennessee Vols, but also the home of the 134th Air Refueling Wing Volunteers. You might catch us in the beautiful skies of East Tennessee, flying the time-tested, irreplaceable, world-traveling, aerial refueling KC-135. Yeah, you heard that right. We refuel other aircraft while traveling the world at over 30,000 feet and 500 miles an hour. The amazing thing is, that's really not the 134th Air Refueling Wing's greatest strength. Our greatest strength is our airmen, our warriors, who have answered our nation's call. Guardians of freedom and justice, not only in our beautiful hills, but worldwide. They are our sentries and avengers, defending our country with their lives. They are the best of us, wingmen, leaders, and warriors, and you best believe they will never falter or fail. Flying, fighting, and winning, they are American Airmen and Tennessee Air National Guardsmen. So what are you waiting for? It's time to join the hometown team. Visit GoANG.com or call 1-800-TO-GO-ANG.
Watching 5 Star Live, presented by Waffle House, East Tennessee's #1 post-game high school football show. Live on location from the biggest game of the week. Live interviews from the winning coaches and players, along with highlights from other games around East Tennessee. Your hosts, Jesse Smithy and Kevin Smith, with decades of experience covering and coaching high school sports, along with the 5-Star Preps team, will update you on games as they become final, and will break down region outlooks and what's to come for your favorite football teams and top players. Now, get ready for the most comprehensive high school football coverage in Tennessee on 5-Star Live.
Welcome back to 5-Star Live, fueled by Waffle House. That feels good to say. I'm so pumped that Waffle House is our title sponsor this year. They've been working with us at 5-Star Preps as a sponsor, supporting high school athletics for over a year now, and really appreciate what they do and stepping up to the plate and sponsoring 5-Star Live this year as our title sponsor. They were our Waffle House hotline sponsor last year, now totally taking over the show, so appreciate Waffle House. Make sure you're going out to your local Waffle House, getting some good food, whether it's before a football game. I know kids and parents love to go after, so make sure you do that this fall. Thanks again to Carson Newman for having us tonight. The inaugural 5-Star Preps Jamboree, we're already in the works for 2022. The field is going to be absolutely loaded. This year, had a late start getting it together. A lot of teams are already booked up, but certainly thank you to Grace Christian, to Jellicoe, for Clinton, for coming out tonight, for all the people up in the stands. Been a good trial run and first year for the Jamboree. All right, let's take a look into week one. Some big-time games coming up starting on Thursday night. It's the rematch, South Doyle against Oak Ridge. Remember, that was a 5A state semifinal a year ago that Oak Ridge won, I think, 14-0, then went on to play in the 5A state championship. South Doyle 4A now, so maybe not a preview of what's to come, but maybe a preview of two teams that we're going to see in the playoffs. And South Doyle definitely looks good. You're going to talk about them here in just a minute. On Friday, a slew of games, big rivalry games too on Friday. Morristown East versus Morristown West. Of course, that's the Battle of Morristown. Big deal in that community. Fulton and Austin East square off in week one. Not used to that. That's a premier game kind of moving up to the front of the schedule. Halls and Gibbs, another rivalry game kicking off the start of the year. Sneaky good game. Possibly, I don't know, Alcoa taking on Ray County. This was a game that was scheduled late, added by Alcoa at the 11th hour. Ray County has a quarterback that you need to keep an eye on. Just a sophomore, he went down to the University of Alabama for a summer camp, timed in the 40-yard dash at 4.34. So that'll be a nice little opening test for the Alcoa defense. They have a lot of parts to replace, especially on the defensive front. We'll check that out in week one. Also on Friday night, next week, Anderson County, Powell. Remember, that game came down to the last couple of minutes. Big play there at the end by Powell. I know Anderson County's chomping at the bit to get a little revenge in that game. They're excited about their chances in 4A this year. Keep an eye on that game. And then two games on Saturday in week one. Greenville and Central will be on TV. Big-time matchup there. Nick Craney going against some people that he knows up there in Greenville, so keep an eye on that game. And then Bearden at West, rivalry game in week one on Saturday night. I promised you before the break we're going to give you a little bit of premium content here on 5-Star Live. I'm going to unveil the preseason top 10 football teams for 5-Star Preps. We have not released that on our website yet, so you're watching tonight. You're going to get a little sneak peek. Here we go. We're going to start at number 10. Webb School of Knoxville, 5-5 a year ago. They bring 11 starters back, and you say, hey, why are they in the top 10? I'll tell you why. They have some of the best collection of young talent that's in this area. And now they have Rusty Bradley running the offense and that spread offense. They've moved out of the wing tee, letting Rusty run the show offense. Charlie Robinson at quarterback is going to shock a lot of people with how good he is this year. You got Brandon Winton, you got Marquise Barrett out on the perimeter. Webb Spartans really going to be one to watch. I like their chances to win 8 or 9 ball games in the regular season, barring injury. Number 9, I just talked about them, South Doyle, 10-4 a year ago, 15 starters back. They have an absolute brutal schedule in the regular season with Oak Ridge, Bearden, Anderson County, Farragut, Fulton, and Central. It's imperative that they stay healthy. They have to go into those 4A playoffs where they're going to possibly see Elizabethton or Greenville or Anderson County. They have to be healthy, so keep an eye on that. Number 8, CAK, 11-1 a year ago. Remember, they went 10-0 for the first time in program history and then got, I'm not going to say boat race, but Goodpasture dropped 61 on them in the state quarterfinals. they play Goodpasture in the regular season this year. So they're going to get a real good test midway through the year to see how much they've closed that gap from a year ago. Number 7, Anderson County, 9-3 a year ago, 13 starters back. Again, another tough schedule. We ranked the schedules on 5-Star Preps this summer. That one was definitely in there. Powell, Science Hill, Fulton, Ray County, South Doyle, Elizabethton on the schedule as well. Anderson County's been criticized in years past for playing in that Chattanooga region and having a cupcake region schedule. Not so much this year. They've changed regions. They're in there with some of the better teams in the area. So we like Anderson County's chances. They're number 7. Number 6, Greenville, 9-4 a year ago, 17 starters back. Remember, in that state quarterfinal game against Elizabethton, they only lost 24-20, and that was a tumultuous season for Greenville. They did a really nice job of piecing it together late and getting everybody on the same page. So now a lot of those young kids that were on the team last year, bigger, stronger, faster. They got one of the better running backs in the league, a real savvy quarterback, and a great coaching staff up there. So Greenville, number 6. Number 5, Elizabethton. 2-time defending state champions in Class 4A. They come into the fall with a 30-game win streak. Now, our player of the year, Parker Hughes, 5-Star Preps Offensive Player of the Year, he's at MTSU now. They will certainly miss him, but they bring back Bryson Rollins, who is a Mr. Football finalist in Class 4A as a quarterback. He can run the football. He can throw the football. He can do it all, and he's got a nice collection of talent around him, including some really impressive young guys in the backfield to keep an eye on. Number 4, Powell, 8-3 a year ago. They are still steaming over that first-round loss to Walker Valley in the 5A playoffs. All these guys that were sophomores last year, Jordan Podson, Aiden Green, Darius Redmond, J.J. Faust, now juniors, experienced, stronger, faster, not having to go through all the craziness of COVID. Look for them to have a really nice year in 5A. But again, they play a murderer's row of a schedule that features Anderson County, Maryville, Science Hill, Halls, Oak Ridge, and Catholic. They need to stay healthy, find a way to still be competitive in those games, but make sure their guys aren't in jeopardy of missing the playoffs. Number 3, Maryville, 13-1 a year ago, made it all the way to the 6A semifinals. We're not used to seeing them in their season in the semifinals, but they ran up against a monster in Oakland, and that Oakland team is a monster again. So nice games with Powell and Alcoa on the regular season schedule for Maryville. So Maryville Rebels, number 3. Number 2, Catholic. Is Catholic going to go 10-0? I don't know, but they have a really difficult schedule playing in Division II AAA. Some of the best collection of talent in this area. They showed extremely well against Maryville in a preseason scrimmage. The big question mark, obviously, is how well is Jaden Neal going to do as a freshman quarterback? Can they keep him upright? Can they keep him healthy? Because they don't have a lot of depth right now at quarterback. But big games against Baylor, McCallie, Lipscomb with Trent Dilfer will be on the schedule. And, of course, the big game with Powell late in the year. And our number 1 team should come as no surprise. 6-time defending state champion in Class 3A, Alcoa Tornadoes, 14-1 a year ago. Only 10 starters back. They lose a lot of key players on offense, a lot of guys up front. On defense, guys like Greg Carroll, who's now at Georgia Tech, Isaiah Cox, now at Cincinnati, T.T. Sudereth, who's at MTSU, and a number of other guys as well. But from everything we've seen in the preseason and scrimmages, they look to be every bit as good as they were the last couple of years. They got some big guys up front, and Lance Williams, Bubba Jeffries, who are Power 5 prospects. They got one of the hidden secrets of East Tennessee and Jordan Harris, who I think is going to be a Power 5 prospect. And freshman Eli Owens is definitely one to keep an eye on. Going to start the year as a tight end, number 44, but we watched him as an 8th grader last year. We watched him in preseason camp. He's going to be a starter. He's going to be a guy to know. So we're going to take one more break here. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Grace Christian head coach Justin Long. So stay right here on 5-Star Live, fueled by Waffle House.
East Tennessee, the foothills of the Smokies, beautiful lakes, Friday night heroes, and one red light small towns with more life than any big city, where orange and white is displayed. Yeah, the one and only home of the Tennessee Falls, but also the home of the 134th Air Refueling Wing Volunteers. You might catch us in the beautiful skies of East Tennessee, flying the time-tested, irreplaceable, world-traveling, aerial refueling KC-135. Yeah, you heard that right. We refuel other aircraft while traveling the world at over 30,000 feet and 500 miles an hour. The amazing thing is, that's really not the 134th Air Refueling Wing's greatest strength. Our greatest strength is our airmen, our warriors, who have answered our nation's call. Guardians of freedom and justice, not only in our beautiful hills, but worldwide. They are our sentries and avengers, defending our country with their lives. They are the best of us, wingmen, leaders, and warriors. And you best believe they will never falter or fail. Flying, fighting, and winning. They are American Airmen, Tennessee Air National Guardsmen. So what are you waiting for? It's time to join the hometown team. Visit GoANG.com or call 1-800-TO-GO-ANG.
Watching 5 Star Live, presented by Waffle House, East Tennessee's #1 post-game high school football show. Live on location from the biggest game of the week. Live interviews from the winning coaches and players, along with highlights from other games around East Tennessee. Your hosts, Jesse Smithy and Kevin Smith, with decades of experience covering and coaching high school sports, along with the 5 Star Preps team, will update you on games as they become final and will break down region outlooks and what's to come for your favorite football teams and top players. Now, get ready for the most comprehensive high school football coverage in Tennessee on 5 Star Live.
Welcome back to 5 Star Live, presented by Waffle House at the great Carson Newman, joined by Justin Long, head football coach at Grace Christian, former Carson Newman Eagles. They give you a little bit of nostalgia to be back here?
Yes, sir. Coming up 11E brought back some memories for sure.
Congratulations, first off, on getting the head coaching job at Grace. I know you've been in the area coaching at Fulton, your alma mater, for so long, learning under Robbie Black, and just wondering what the emotions are like for you going into your first season as a head coach.
Yeah, first I just want to thank God for the opportunity to be a head coach and to lead a program, but the emotions were just excitement, and just anxious to put my own stamp on things and anxious to try to, prove that I can lead and do a great job at it.
Have you learned anything about yourself as a head coach yet?
Yes and no. I've learned that I'm quick to delegate. I definitely don't want this to be an all me thing. I want this to be a us thing. I want our staff to feel like they matter and feel like that they can put their own stamp on their positions and come to work every day excited.
I watched you a little bit on the sideline, and I was like, what's Jay Long going to look like? Is he going to be a screamer? Is he going to be kind of low-key? It seemed like you were low-key today. Is that just because this is the Jamboree, or is that going to be you?
I definitely want to take a low-key approach. I don't want my guys to see any type of angst in me or any type of, the same guy I am at practice, I want to be on game night. I don't want them thinking, oh, man, who's this coach now? So I definitely want to be consistent. And, the laid-back approach, I think when I'm speaking to a kid and getting on a kid, I think he'll appreciate that more.
Kind of a George Quarles type approach. I mean, I never saw him get crazy on the sideline, yelling, jumping up and down. He always said, don't get too high, don't get too low, and you can benefit from that.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't get too high, don't get too low. And, and Coach Wright used to say it's not as good as it's been. It's never as good as it seems. It's never as bad as it seems. So you got to stay even keel. You got to stay right in the middle. And, and that's important, especially when things aren't going your way, for sure.
You come into Grace Christian, you take over a program that graduated a lot of seniors. Just kind of where are things in your vision and kind of how you see it growing?
Yeah, honestly, this group has done nothing but work since day one. Since January, they bought into the process, to be very cliche, and they've just worked. I'm excited about how they're trending. We got to face adversity a little better and handle adversity a little better. And I think once we stare adversity in the face and say, bring it on, I think we'll be better for it.
For those who watch Grace Christian over the last handful of years under Rusty Bradley or so, and remember them throwing it around a lot. What are we probably going to see out of Grace Christian this year, style-wise?
Yeah, style-wise, we're definitely going to throw it around, but we're also going to try to establish a physical brand of football up front. I think that's important. We have 4 out of 5 linemen coming back, and I think that's important for those guys to be able to lean on people. And when the grass turns yellow and tan later in the season, you definitely want to be able to run the football.
Well, Justin, thanks so much for sticking around tonight, and wish you guys the best of luck. And thanks for being a part of this in his first year. It really means a lot. All right. That's Justin Long, head football coach at Grace Christian Academy. Watched this guy play back in high school, a fantastic player, and then, of course, went on to play in college. Been coaching over at Fulton for a long time, learned under that great staff there, and now took that leap of faith to go over to Grace Christian and be their head football coach. Certainly going to be fun to watch, and wish him the best of luck. Tonight, I do want to remind you guys to hop on to 5starpreps.com. There at the top of the page, we have all the season preview information you need, the top teams, the top players, who has the toughest schedule, games to watch, young guys to watch that are coming into high school, or maybe were freshmen last year, transitioning into that big sophomore season. We have a lot of scrimmage coverage, and tonight we're going to have coverage from this jamboree, the 5-Star Preps Jamboree, as well as all the jamborees from around the area tomorrow night. So if you've been on the fence, you don't know whether or not to give 5-Star Preps a try, use promo code LIVE25, LIVE25, get 25% off your first month or year payment. A lot of people have been signing up for the year because they save, $12, $13, $14, and that's big savings on a year subscription. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. I thank Carson Newman for allowing us to come out. Tennessee Orthopedic Clinic for sponsoring our jamboree, giving T-shirts to all the kids. Thank you to Jefferson City Fire Department for your time tonight, making sure all these kids and all the parents up in the stands are nice and safe. Honey Baked Ham, Gold Star Nutrition. So many people played a part in pulling this off tonight. We pulled it together at the 11th hour. We already have teams committed for next year, so stay tuned for that announcement in the coming months. So that's going to do it for us tonight. Our trial run on 5-Star Live presented by Waffle House. We will be live Friday night next week in week 1 of the high school football season. Crazy, it's already here. Find us next week on social media, and we'll have a lot of trivia, giveaway prizes, all that right here on 5-Star Live.
You're watching 5-Star Live, presented by Waffle House, East Tennessee's #1 post-game high school football show. Live on location from the biggest game of the week. Live interviews from the winning coaches and players, along with highlights from other games around East Tennessee. Your hosts, Jesse Smithy and Kevin Smith, with decades of experience covering and coaching high school sports, along with the 5-Star Preps team, will update you on games as they become final, and will break down region outlooks and what's to come for your favorite football teams and top players. Now, get ready for the most comprehensive high school football coverage in Tennessee on 5-Star Live.